Hello and welcome to ZSR. We have another ALttPR Crosskeys tournament match between ZelgaDissan and Goomba. This should be a good one. We're 2 3-0 players, round 4 of Swiss. And for commentary, we have Will WC and Nelson out. Why don't you take it over?
Well, welcome. We have one just banger of a matchup tonight here between Goomba and ZelgaDissan. Both runners are 3-0. Both of them among the most talented Crosskeys runners in the community. Alex, how are you doing tonight? What do you think we can look forward to here?
I'm doing okay, Will. I hope you're doing well. And yeah, like you said, this is probably the two biggest, the two most talented runners here. So I expect a good run here between these two.
Yeah, so while we've got a second here, while we're setting up, we'll run through and see how both of these runners got to 3-0. ZelgaDissan had defeated Solietu in the first round, Chloe Prower in the second round, and then Error in last week's 2-0 round for his side. Goomba had arguably even a tougher road here, getting matched up with main tournament quarterfinalist Shady Force in the first round, and then defeating Matt Cap and Matt 7898 in the next two rounds to get here.
It's some pretty big names for both of them to take out pretty early on here. So this is why I expect this to be very close between these two.
Yeah, both runners have excellent execution, but especially I think they are very talented and at kind of creatively routing and efficiently routing when it comes to crosskeys here in particular. So we're going to expect some high quality play from both runners here tonight as we are about to get going here in about 20 seconds.
So I kind of expect both of these two runners to do the more of the traditional routing with the fake flipper up to the witch's hut, and then probably do the whole hand play, because that's quite common, right?
Yeah, I think that is both runners' kind of preferred start. We see 20 rupees there in Link's house, and looks like both of them are going south. So yeah, I would expect both of them setting up the fake flipper here to the witch's hut, and then over to the fairy drop down to set up for a hula hand.
So no divergency here in the beginning, which is quite common because we really want our rupees here. We need bombs, pay the bottle vendor. Maybe we'll find some chess game along the way as well.
Right. This route is really common because it is just the quickest, easiest way to get guaranteed money. You get early knowledge of this potion shop check, which can be very difficult to route in efficiently if you don't have the flute. So getting that check out of the way early keeps you from kind of orphaning that, as well as giving you that early setup for the early game.
A little unfortunate with the drop down we had, with the entrance we had there, where we could have bought bombs if we had rupees, but not today.
Yep. So we see Kakariko well here at the drop. Both runners are going to be hoping to find bombs here in one of these 4 chests in the front. Otherwise, they will be leaving behind that item in the back there for now, neither of them having gotten a drop. We do see the Meyer Big Key here, but no bombs, so they will have to make a return visit for that item in the back.
Yeah, that's a little bit unfortunate, but I don't think they will be too worried about it quite yet, at least.
Right. Yeah, it's certainly not, the worst place to get back to, but it is a little bit of an annoyance. It's kind of one of the risks of this opening here with the fake flipper and the hula hand, is that you do run the risk of finding the well there with that 1 in 8 chance, and orphaning that item there for at least some period of time.
Yeah, definitely. And now it's going to be a little bit more of a common routing here. You go down here, you check the entrances, and you also get to see what's on Lake Healy Island, which is also a nice play to do, so you can see if you need those flippers and mirror later on.
Right, and we see both runners here trying to kill a few of the enemies here. One thing that's notable about this screen is that there are the enemies on it come in three of the different prize packs. So you can kind of increase your chances of finding, bombs early by killing all of those enemies on the screen there. We see an entrance to Desert Palace there at the Fortune Teller's shop. But,
and we have a small key on the Hylia Island.
So Goomba choosing to save and quit, whereas Zelda is going to go ahead and go in and explore Desert Palace here. So we will get our first bit of divergence here about 3 minutes in. Goomba's going to go up and check the tree pole here at the castle and see what the drop is from the Vanilla Uncle spot.
50 rupees in Desert Palace, which is kind of nice to have a lot of rupees in the beginning. Oh, look at that. Vanilla Uncle drop.
Vanilla Uncle is nice.
There's a sword as well.
And a vanilla sword. So that is a very nice early find for Goomba there to get that sword early. That will make routing around and particularly any enemy kill rooms or anything like that much easier to get around with, as he gets a big 20 from the other side of that.
Look at that. We got a nice little connector here to Dark World. I think Zelga's going to go and check what's on the pyramid.
Yep. So Zelga finds the Desert West connector, or Desert West entrance, to dump him out at the Dark Flute 5 spot. He's going to find our West Hyrule Castle entrance there.
That's one way to do it. That tree pole was real nice for Goomba as well. Getting bombs here. Don't need to buy any bombs at all. So saving some rupees here early on.
Yeah, so he finds that nice tier 1 tree pole there, gets stocked up on bombs, gives her our first look at Sanctuary, where he finds the Hera big key.
That's a nice big key to find if we have Kakariko and Tower of Hera close by. You can always beat it.
Yeah.
Can't full clear it. Oh, nice hammer.
Ooh, yes, that is a very nice hammer that will make, if he does find Tower of Hera, make that a much easier clear, as well as just being generally useful for opening up some dungeon access and, overworld access later on. He's going to drop directly into the well as Zelga just sees a piece of heart on the pyramid. We get a red potion out of the backup escape there.
Like to see that. Early bottle is always nice whenever you find sick kid, and also just having some protection here in the beginning with a red potion.
It does also make it a little bit easier if you happen to find an early pod to do a potion glitch to get through the Bowlock side there as well. That can open up some items there.
Yeah, that is nice indeed. It'll be interesting to see how these two runners will route now here. It looks like Zelga's going to explore a little bit more here in Lost Woods. There is a hookshot cave up here. Pretty nice. Let's see. Going to see what the drop down is over here at the lumberjack. See if Aga is required or not.
Meanwhile, Goomba finds, we do have a required Ganon here, or a castle, or an Aga 1 required cannon, rather, over there at the Lumberjack, as Goomba finds a small key to Pod, and Zelga finds the map of Desert Palace in their respective checks at the Lumberjack Hut and in Blind's Hut, respectively.
Getting some good information from locations here. It'll be interesting to see what we'll get from it. There's a single arrow on the bottle vendor. That is not information we want to see at all, so thank you for...
That's possibly the most feels bad item you can get from spending 100 rupees. So Goomba has found Eastern Palace here, and he is choosing to go in here. Zelga is a notably strong opponent of... opponent, I guess, of the early Eastern Palace dip in Crosskeys. So if he does find something in here...
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. Well, he finds the red boomerang, which is... I mean, it has its values sometimes, so...
Yeah, but if he does find something in here, there is a... assuming that tradition holds, there's a very strong possibility that Zelga could put that off for quite some time. That said, this is a rather long, slow check when you don't have boots, and of course you're going to be leaving 2 items back here without the big key and without the bow to complete the dungeon. So nothing from the first 2 chests in the front here for Goomba, as Zelga is making his way down to Kakariko as well here.
Now this is like, I actually like the play Goomba's doing by dipping Eastern early, because even if you don't find anything quite useful, you still have the knowledge that there is nothing here. I haven't missed anything. So it's, it's one of those weird decisions you have to take.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those plays where, it kind of, for me, it varies on whether or not I will or won't do it, but, there is a glove there in the compass chest.
That is definitely value.
Yeah, that is big value there. And we'll see if Zelga breaks from his personal tradition there to find that glove early by dipping Eastern, or if he puts that off for a little bit of time here.
If he puts it off, it's going to be a little bit more unfortunate, but we'll see how much it actually pays off here in the beginning.
Yeah. We see Goomba making his way through the dark rooms here. Zelga's going to get his single arrow here for 100 rupees, and then we'll see what decision he makes, having found once he opens up Eastern Palace here. And he says, no thank you.
I can't blame him, but it's going to hurt if he doesn't go there quite soon, because that glove is quite important.
Yeah, glove is one of... is a very important item, just in general in Rando, but especially in Crosskeys, because there are so many different glove checks kind of scattered all around the world, and you can really kind of mess up your routing by orphaning a bunch of those checks early on. And we're going to see, Goomba is going to be able to route in some of those checks, like down towards the desert area, over at Ice Rod Cave, up near Death Mountain, or on the route to Death Mountain.
Okay, we got a dark cave here. So which one is this? Is this...
I think this is the back of the Old Man starting point, but no, I think it might have been it's either that or the Death Mountain Descent entrance.
Yeah, I think that's the Descent, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the flippers. That's pretty nice. Puts Soren logic as well as the glove that Goomba picked up. Another entrance. Not going to check that unless we... not quite yet, at least.
Right. Goomba's getting his flippers as well. And we'll see the last couple checks of Kakariko here, and then see what direction these runners choose to go in.
I think they will probably scout out pretty much. Well, Goomba's going to actually follow this connector, so this is going to be interesting. Oh, it put us up here, so it's actually a pretty good spot for Dark World.
Yeah, that is a nice spot because you can kind of route one way efficiently there. Oh, Spiral Cave. That's always fun to find real early there at the Smith's house.
Yeah, I have a weird relationship to Spiral Cave as of late, thanks to Crosskeys. So it's one of those. If you don't do it early, it'll punish you, and if you do it early, it won't give you anything.
For sure. I would not be surprised to see these... Oh, Goomba's going to go ahead and go for it now. I would not be surprised to see these runners clear out the South Kakariko checks and then come back to Spiral Cave here, but Goomba's going to just go ahead and follow it immediately. We see another small key out in the open there at the race game, as we see Zelga finishing up the South Kakariko checks here.
The early potion shop as well here next to... oh, there's the sick kid, by the way. Nice location. Got a map to Pod, actually.
Yeah, and Goomba gets the Cane of Burna there, which is an interesting item.
Okay, so now the Spiral Cave puts us over here at the eastern area. That's a pretty good location.
Yeah, after having checked already the other 2 entrances there at Lake Hylia, that's just about as nice of a connector as you can get for routing efficiently and clearing the rest of the eastern area. Zelga is going to come back and check out that Elder connector as well and get his information that he has a connector up to the Dark Lumberjack shop. And then he will duck right back inside and
So,
get back to Kakariko.
Goomba found another dark cave. I'm not sure, but it kind of looked like that was the one up with the old man up to the mountain. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But...
Yeah. One other thing that's going to be interesting to see is with the early glove and hammer, whenever we find the Moon Pearl, Goomba's going to have really nice Dark World access at several of the portals around the world here, and may not be as reliant on connectors to get Dark World access as Zelga might be later. We find Nagini's cave here, but just a compass in the back.
I think at least the seed has been pretty nice so far. It's giving us some of these, well, I was going to say dumb locations with like one-off items like Spiral Cave, and now we found Nagina's cave, which is kind of nice to just get those few locations out of the way early on.
Yeah, for sure. And so, see the two runners kind of converge here at Zaha's, where we find Meyer's Shed and its 2 items.
And a lot of junk in here.
Yeah. Goomba's going to go back. I think if you were correct on that dark connector there at the Fluke 5 spot, then he will probably take that and head up to the mountain here.
Yeah, I think it is the the entrance up to the Death Mountain here, because it kind of looked like it when he was kind of touching it a little bit there with the sword to see where it was. So
yeah, and that is another advantage that he has right now, having that sword. It makes traversing these dark rooms a lot easier than it will be for Zelga. Zelga, of course, perfectly capable, especially using bombs as guidance to get through the Old Man Cave, since that's probably the one you're most familiar with doing dark from open standard modes, but it will make his life a little bit easier there as well.
and just having a sword going up the mountain as well is going to be very nice. You can take care of the dead rocks and all these annoying stuff up here.
Yeah, it's very nice to have for dealing with those as well.
20 rupees from the old man. Thank you for saving you. Oh, Paradox Cave.
Paradox Cave. So Goomba choosing to come back to that in a little bit here. Does have to be careful up here on the aptly named Death Mountain with just 2 hearts, though he does have a potion and an invulnerability item to probably help him out through this section. Zelga is going to follow this connector as well up to the up to the mountain with the Old Man Rescue, as we see the archery game there on the mountain.
Like the usage here from Zelda, it's a really good way to see where you are, because you can kind of see your sprite a little bit better.
Yeah.
Old school woods and swamp palaces are red crystals today.
Yeah. We've got the fake Sahasrara there on the right side Spectral Rock Drop. Zelga is going to choose to go ahead and go directly for these 7 items here in Paradox, whereas I think we'll see Goomba come back down for them in just a minute here.
I feel like it makes a lot more sense. Oh, there is actually the real Sarashal here.
Yeah, so we have a green pendant at Pod today.
And there is a mirror in Paradox Cave.
That is nice to have. So that'll open up pretty much all of the mountain for both of these runners once they both collect that.
Hopefully Zelda here doesn't die here. Well, we do have the blue cane, so...
Yeah, with Berna, I think he'll be fine.
There's a cape. A magic cape, so that's pretty good whenever we find a bumper cave. Small Key Desert Palace, which we know where desert is, so we can actually check that. Quite easy.
Yep, so that's 2 items opened up there. Zelga's going to continue out and continue exploring the mountain, whereas I think we'll see Goomba go through some of these connectors here Although with the mirror find, he may choose to go back up the mountain and explore the east side as well here.
Now that's a good part here with having that super early hammer. We can actually check pretty much all of the mountain in one go.
So we'll see a little bit of overlapping progress here, but yeah, I think thinking about it, that mirror is going to incentivize Goomba to come up here and get to East Death Mountain and check out those entrances over there, as well as Tower of Hera on the way. Oh no, he is going to drop down, so we will see him check out this bottom exit of Paradox Cave.
Oh,
well, that is useful.
Now that is the better option you can get here in the end.
Yeah. So that gives him just a little bit more access over there. We'll get to see this dark entrance here at the Vanilla Super Bunny exit, which is yet another connector that I don't think we'll follow right now. And meanwhile, Zelga's cleaning up his work over there on the west side of the mountains. Ether is what will open up Turtle Rock for us today. Goomba is actually just a pair of mitts and a moon pearl away from having that come into play. So we could have an early access to that if we find those mitts, moon pearl, and the ether, of course. So now we're going to see these.
Not after you see
together.
that in Crosskeys, like, okay, that's another dark cave here. So it's either the dark cave we have in Kakariko, it's the old man back. So it's going to be interesting to see when they start following it. But there's Castle Tower.
Yeah. So I think that was the old man back there, just based on how far Goomba was able to go up. But we'll see both runners here check out take a death intentionally to revive in the original Link state, and then probably clear these guards and take the first chest here of Castle Tower. Obviously, we know we'll be back here later on because we do have to clear this to access Ganon. But for right now, this is still a good opportunity to go ahead and grab one of these items for both runners.
I get a heart container, so definitely some value here early on, since we are only on like 3 and 4 hearts right now.
Yeah, and especially, in certain situations in Crosskeys, you might not be excited to take early, card upgrades or mail upgrades, but in a situation where you have an early mirror like this, it is nice to get that help.
That is a blind hideout.
Yeah. So we will see, I see Zelga setting up for it. I'm sure Goomba will as well with that mirror, trying to get Super Bunny's state here to be able to get the 4 chests in the basement there of Blind's Hut. Again, we will not be able to, in the Super Bunny state, will not be able to bomb open the wall in the back. But we will see these 4 items now as both runners get the glitch here.
Getting a lot of rupees, and we already have the flipper, so wouldn't be surprised if we go and check out Sora's sooner or later.
Yeah, that would definitely be one that would be good to route in for these runners.
Looks like, yes, Goomba is going to actually follow more of this. Okay, he's going back up to the other side.
Take the same connector that he found, which is, I think, a faster way over to East Death Mountain versus Zelga, who's going to have to walk all the way back up the mountain and mirror at the top and go into Hera and then walk back over. So I think that's an early example of just kind of the smart routing that these runners are able to come up with on the fly here.
So this is already good value for going. There's a big key here. Swamp House Big. It's not super useful right now, but it could be pretty good later on. So Small Key Skullwoods as well. So whenever of it, it's going to be a little bit easier to clear it out.
Zelga checks out that dark connector. I think we can confirm that it is the back of the old man save and quit point there. We find I think, is that the last of our dark caves there at the ferry ascension entrance there on East Death Mountain?
Yeah, that has to be less. I think we have found all of them at this point, so...
Yeah.
Oh, there's the King's Tomb.
Yeah. Just a piece of heart. Zelga picks up his Swamp Big Key from the top of Paradox Cave there.
Not much of progression up here so far, but
yeah,
we're finding some good stuff here.
Yeah, given the early money here, this is a nice opportunity to come over to Upgrade Ferry, go ahead and collect, get a good, healthy bomb count going, get your arrows up for whenever you find the bow.
Well, that or you have to do like a low percent vitreous or something like that. So
it's also a nice scenario there. And speaking of that back of Skull Woods, here it is. Unfortunately, we don't have that fire source that you mentioned.
Well, there might be one in this chest here, so don't rule it out.
That's true.
Oh man.
It is, in a sense, a fire source. However, the bombs will not light torches. So, Goomba's going to save and quit. I expect we'll see Zelga do the same thing when he gets there. We'll see where our mountain starting point is. In the mire
this is actually a good place.
I'm very surprised that Goomba chose to save and quit there immediately instead of, mirroring and checking some of those desert entrances. But maybe he's waiting to put that off with the Moon Pearl, I guess.
I am a little bit confused there. Like, I would definitely check it out. You have the glove, and you can check the desert ledge,
right?
Stuff.
You got four entrances there with the mirror. Plus, you can go into Agena and then kind of route east from there. So, I wouldn't be shocked if he didn't come back to that here soon. But it is a little bit surprising that he chose to immediately kind of nope out from that one. Zelga doing the same here, except he is going to check out Agena Cave, and we find the back of desert there in the desert area.
Well, at least one location for Desert Palace is in the kind of correct area, so... So right now this is a little bit unfortunate for Zelga, since Zelga doesn't have the glove that Goomba got.
Yep, so we'll see our first look at this, whereas Zelda's going to come over here and check out some of these desert entrances. There is Ganon's tower behind that glove.
That is interesting.
That is very interesting. We just have logical access to the two items here on the right side.
There's a bow. Okay, now we're talking.
Yeah, so that puts even more weight on that glove there that Goomba got out of Eastern Palace. And if Zelga ends up waiting for a bow to go into Eastern Palace, that could be extra problematic for him here, depending on where that second glove is, or where the second bow is.
Okay, this is interesting. Goomba is going to probably just bomb jump up to at least the Stalfos room here. I don't think he's going to do that.
I think with the help, he's not going to be able to get all the way to down to the map room or anything like that, but getting to Stalfos room is nice here.
Starting off with 20 rupees, more bombs, always nice since you just use some bombs. Small key to Harrow Castle. So now everything is in logic there. And there's bombos. So whenever we find Ice Palace, we can actually clear it, except the big chest.
Meanwhile, Zelga not really finding much in the way of progression over at the desert area there. We are going to get our first look at the Sanctuary drop here as well. Just a piece of heart there from the Lumberjack ledge. So I think Gooma's going to come right over here and pick up that Orphan chest at the well here next, whereas Zelga's going to continue east, checking out, giving us our first look at the dam here, and then probably heading over towards the Ice Rod Cave area.
And Goomba here is going to give us that check we skipped in the beginning. So let's see if there's any super progression that we skipped for like the last half an hour. Not really. 5 rupees.
Yeah. Yeah. Meanwhile, Zelga not finding too much of interest here on his route to the east here. He is going to jump into the water here and give us our first look at some of these flipper checks. Whereas Goomba's going to come over here and turn in that mushroom that they found up on Death Mountain. So we see our third visible small key of the seed there in the library at the vanilla upgrade fairy spot. As Goomba is going to do what you suggested and head over to the Zora area and meet Zelda there as well.
Well, we have a good way to farm rupees, but we don't really need to do it right now.
Right.
We got more bombs on the Sora ledge, so we don't need to think about that.
And we'll get our first look at what King Zora has for us. Hopefully it won't be quite as big of a ripoff as the 100 rupee arrow that we got earlier in Kakariko, but we'll see if this early money in the seed pays off for these runners here. There is our lamp, so that puts all that we did up there on the mountain right into logic for both of these runners.
And also now we have that fire source I was talking about Skull Woods earlier, so...
We do.
Well, 500 rupees for a lamp. I'm pretty sure that's worth it in my opinion.
Yeah, I think especially in entrance modes, getting that fire source early is a pretty big benefit, and it's good to see that both runners are going to get it here early and not not be gated off from that or from that item for a long time. Zelga's going to go back here to Desert Palace and check out those 2 chests on the right side. Probably give us a look at the East Desert entrance, whereas Goomba is now going to take advantage of that starting location from the old man and get his first glimpse at the desert area here. Flute.
Flute here is pretty useful.
Yeah, that's with us having access to the Mire area already. That is not going to be a required item for us, but it will make just general routing and world travel much nicer and easier to do, especially when combined with that mirror as well. These runners will be able to get around and get pretty much wherever they want to with ease.
Well,
we have a surprise high five here as Zelga discovers that the Desert East entrance is the checkerboard cave entrance, right as Goomba opens it with the glove that he has. So we see Goomba get his flute here as well, and he will check out the map chest here, look at the torch, and then probably check out the west exit as well that Zelga did earlier.
It's kind of funny that both runners are like at the same spot the whole time. So right now for I guess the whole Gan's Tower lock behind the glove right now is the biggest concern for Zelga.
One thing that's going to be interesting here with Goomba's routing, he's going to come out here at the Dark 5 Cave as well, but with him having that mirror and that cape, he's going to have access to all 3 of the entrances on top of the pyramid, or on top of Hyrule Castle there, when he gets over to the pyramid. So that will be new information for us there as well.
You thought about saving quitting there, but this is quite tempting.
Yeah, I think having that mirror and that cape together, you definitely want to go ahead and check out those 3 entrances there if you have this access. And Zelda looks like he may actually be going in the same direction here, because we see him going back into desert and going through this left side entrance. So
Goomba here is setting up a death warp, so Goomba is definitely going to go and check the items here. Since we have the small key, everything will be in logic. Well, depending on where the other higher castle entrances are. So,
right. Yeah, this could be a situation. We obviously have not seen either of the other two Hyrule Castle entrances yet, but in Crosskeys, it can be logically required for you to go into an entrance and exit it through a different entrance that comes out in the light world, and then re-enter to get Link State. The bunny or the revival or Link revival here that Goomba is doing is not in itself in logic, but because of those connectors, it could be in logic, as we find the Thieves Town big key there in the map chest of Hyrule Castle. Zelga is going to continue on over here and give us our first look at the pyramid with those items. He's also going to route in his check of the Uncle drop here and the front of Hyrule Castle, so he will finally get his sword.
This is quite a nice find there with the Thieves big key, actually. Half magic as well. That's even better if we ever find that Ice Palace as well.
So we will see. Of course, having the mirror here, you've got pretty quick access to get back to the front here out of Zelda's cell once we get that chest. We have the lamp, so there's no reason probably that we'll see him skip Dark Cross here as well. And then we'll see if he chooses to follow some of these connectors or if he decides to go up to the pyramid as well here.
I think we're definitely going to see where the entrances will be. I think Goomba wants to know if this is in logic as well, so...
Yeah, that is a good point.
It feels like Goomba wants to play by logic since he didn't want to check the mire area until he got that lamp.
Right. So we see the back of Super Bunny here with the access to the two chests there on Zelga's side at the left entrance of the top of Hyrule Castle. As Goomba approaches the Dark Cross chest here. No big payouts from either runner. Zelda gets his first Turtle Rock small key and a shield. Goomba gets a Mire small key. From the Dark Cross chest.
Yeah. Let's see what we got here in the... oh, there's the chicken nut.
Yeah. So another item up here on top of the castle, and there is our Moon Pearl. So this is a required, as far as we know, a required bunny walk over to Pyramid to mirror up here to get that Moon Pearl.
Well, it's a good thing that both the runners did this as early as they did, because now, well, for Goomba, we actually have full Dark World access.
Yeah.
Zelda needs to go to Eastern Palace.
Yeah, and so we know now that mirror was required for getting up here to the Moon Pearl, because the other side of Super Bunny there was the other entrance. So, yep, Zelga's going to turn in his mushroom now as well. Zelga does know that where the magic shop is. Goomba still has not explored the South Kakariko area yet to find it, but we will see that check done on Zelga's side, I'd imagine, sooner than later. Especially now having that Dark World access. Zelga, of course, knows about the connector up to the Dark Lumberjack hut, and will probably just route straight south from there, I would imagine, down to South Dark World. For Goomba, the options are a little bit more varied here, having that kind of traditional Dark World access with the hammer and glove at this point. He will have a lot of options here as far as how he chooses to route this.
Yeah, Goomba got a lot of options here.
So it'll be interesting to see, what direction he's going to go from here. I expect him to pull out that flute here, and then, or maybe he goes back over and picks up like the Dark Potion shop and.
I don't think Goomba actually activates his flute, right?
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, he does not have that flute activated yet. Still, though, I think he's going to go over here and maybe either go back and pick up the pod entrance here, or go back and get Potion Shop and Catfish maybe here early.
I think this is more like going to pod area, maybe. Yeah, this is definitely a pod. Or you go and just do Hobo at the same time, because we didn't do that earlier.
Yeah, that's also a good awareness there to route that in here. Zelga, meanwhile, is checking out the front of Skullwoods here.
Ooh.
And that is that's a big item from Hobo there.
What is Hobo doing with that fire rod?
I don't know. It's probably good that we took that off his hands, honestly, before he hurt anybody with it.
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried.
Yeah.
So we're actually not going to go and check the pod entrance. We're actually going to go and explore a little bit more down here. There's the other Howard Castle entrance, the east side. I think that's the Dark Shopping Mall for Goomba here.
Yeah, and he's going to grab that small key off of the Hylia Island ledge here. That is Ganon's Tower small key. I think that is our first one that we've seen from either runner.
Yeah, and I mean, we don't know if we need more small keys to have plays, so always nice to have at least one going back in there whenever we find a hookshot or a Samaria.
Yeah. One thing about all these small keys that we've been seeing, at Race Game, at Library, there on Hylia, we are going to have to collect both of the Castle Tower small keys to complete the seed, with the Ganon location being there as the Lumberjack. So that's going to give these guys, even probably later in the seed, hopefully they've been taking good information down in their notes on where all these small keys are, because that may come into play later on as well.
Yeah, we do also have that Swamp Palace small key that tends to be annoying. We need to find that one as well, since that is actually crystal this time around.
Yeah, that will be required as well.
So that is actually 3 annoying small keys to find. There's Pod in a very dumb location.
Yep. So Goomba will have access to, I think, 5 checks here, assuming that he doesn't do any kind of travel through the right side to get into the back with just one small key here. Gets 20 rupees there from the shooter room chest. Meanwhile, Zelga found the west entrance here to Turtle Rock and is making his way to the big key chest, and then presumably to the chain chomp's room as well.
And look at that small keyed pod in lava chest.
So that logically, that pod small key is going to be gated behind 4 Turtle Rock small keys. So that's something that Zelga will keep in mind here whenever he is exploring pod later on. That anything that he finds in any of the 6 key locked locations here in pod will be pretty deep in the logic. Just a heart container there from the Chain Chomp's chest in TR. Zelda's going to continue his route south to the Village of Outcasts as we see Goomba making his way through the right side of pod.
Made that room look very easy, like Goomba normally do.
And there is that ice palace you talked about.
Well, that is unfortunate for Celia.
Yeah, so Zelga, not having that glove, not having the fire rod or bombos there, has no options on doing anything in there right now. Hook shot there on Zelga's side.
I mean, hook shot is kind of nice, not gonna lie.
And we have seen Hookshot Cave as well, so that is 4 items that these runners will want to remember to get back and check. We're also getting our first look here at the Ice Rod Cave area on Goomba's side.
There's Mimic Cave in the chess game house. Oh, there's Thieves Town as well.
Yeah, so Pod and Thieves Town at opposite locations in the Dark and Light world there.
Oh.
Oh, and there's there's that big key to Eastern Palace. So now Goomba has a fully clearable Eastern.
This is. I mean, I think Goomba might clear this place since this is in Dark Shopping Mall. I mean, we don't have a small key to thieves, but
right,
it's an annoying place right now.
Well, the thing is that he does have that flute to get access here, and this is the light world.
Oh yeah, it's in light world. Okay, never mind.
It's much easier to get back to here. So he will have a decision to make here on whether he chooses to wait on finding that Thieves' Town small key, so as to not orphan the big chest here, or if he chooses to go ahead and clear the dungeon.
Oh boy, there's the myth as well.
Okay, so that is, I think, good for Zelka, because whenever he makes his way over there to those two entrances, he will find gloves. I think one thing that would have been very bad for Zelda in this seed is if the mitts were locked behind the gloves, whereas that is just kind of out there in the open for him to get to whenever he makes his way to the Ice Arcade area.
Oh yeah, definitely. But this is we have the mirror, we have the flute, we got both gloves. This is a very wide open seed right now for the runners. So
yeah, I think we have at this point access to basically every entrance except for the boots locked entrances and Meyer and TR at this point.
Yeah, so this is wide open for these two runners, and we're only 43 minutes in, so this could go real fast or it can go really bad because you've got so many options open right now.
Yeah. So we're going to see. Goomba did decide, we were talking earlier, right before we found that Mitts discovery there, he is going to decide, switched off the mirror at the last second, decides to go ahead and clear Thieves' Town while he's here. As we see Zelda going and making his way down to the back of, or to the basement of Hyrule Castle here.
I actually like this play from Goomba, just to finish off, see if it's a pendant or a crystal. Just
right. You have so much, like Goomba already has so much in the way of item collection and stuff like that. I'd almost feel okay, even if for orphaning this chest, and it's not, it's not horrible to get back to, honestly. If you do find that small key, late in the seed or something like that, but I think at this point you can kind of take that chance and go ahead and get this dungeon cleared while you got the opportunity.
Yeah, definitely. But this is going to be interesting to see how Zelda will route. If he goes down to the Dark Shopping Mall and all that stuff. Zelga's going to go and pick up that small key here from the race game.
Yeah, and he'll give us our first kind of foray into the South World, or South Dark World here. We see the brewery there with just 10 arrows. And we'll see if Zelda remembers to mirror there and check out the item that he turned in the mushroom for at the magic shop.
Oh yeah, we actually did that.
Yeah, both runners have turned in that mushroom, so we'll see if Zelda just remembers that location there, and I would expect he will. There's our Hera small key, so that is a fully clearable Hera whenever we do find it at this point.
It's always nice to be able to just full clear a dungeon, especially a dungeon like Tower of Hera.
Yeah, and there's the other side of that Fairy Ascension connector. Zelda does not, I believe, does not have that information yet that will take him up to the top of Dark Death Mountain, whereas Goomba does know that from whenever he finds that entrance there, he will know that he has that for some kind of quicker access up there to Dark Death Mountain, Turtle Rock area.
And this is really good routing from Goomba right here, being able to just check this hut out here and also catfish. Okay, there is Tower of Pharaoh, so Goomba will be able to beat this dungeon, but he will not be able to full clear it.
Right, so Goomba will be leaving that item in the basement here, but we will see the other the other 5 items is he gets a heart container there out of the basement cage.
This is I mean, we know we need to find 3 small keys right now, but this feels like a pretty nice seed so far.
Yep. So Zelda does remember the magic shop exists there. Only getting 3 bombs there for the turn-in, and taking his free sample from the bottle merchant there, and getting a health refill as well for his Dark World traversal. As Goomba is now at the top of Tower of Hera.
And Zelda is going to follow this connector, actually. Oh, there's Math Sword.
Yeah, Master Sword there in the big chest of Tower of Hera. Zelda pausing for a second, realizing, nope, he still doesn't have a glove, so we still will not get to that information on what is behind the Hookshot Cave entrance there. But we will drop down here and get our first look at the 2 bottom entrances here. As we see the chess game on Zelda's side with a map to Turtle Rock.
I'm a little bit curious to see where all these maps we picked up, what's say a pendant or crystal.
Yeah, that will be some interesting information there as well. And Zelda's going to go ahead and go over here and complete the back of Skull Woods with his lamp that he has, as Goomba gets a crystal out of Tower of Hera there after he cleans up his Moldoran fight.
So we know that Hera thieves Swamp and Skull is crystals, and Pod is a pendant.
Yeah, and between the 2 runners, we do have map knowledge of Eastern and Desert, as well as Turtle Rock, but we have not seen those maps checked yet on either side to know what those are.
Zelda, please. Okay, there we go.
Oh no! Oh no!
No!
So Zelda, unfortunately, taking a death there after doing the bomb jump to light the top torch. We'll give it another try here, as Goomba just gets 3 bombs there from the catfish and chooses to save and quit.
Zelda, please kill the enemies before you do the bomb jump. Please.
I think the problem is that he just doesn't have any real good options to kill them quickly. I mean, unless you're going to hammer them to death, which is not the most fun way of fighting Gyptos.
Wait.
You know, Fighter Sword's a billion hits, and he doesn't have the Bombos Medallion or the Fire Rod that Goomba does.
Are you trying to tell me it's not satisfying to kill the Gyptos with a hammer?
I didn't say not satisfying, just that it's not necessarily time efficient. Goomba, meanwhile, I think has found the east entrance here, or the big chest entrance here of Turtle Rock. I did not see where that was that he entered that from, but I think it was over there in the Desert Mire area where he just started.
We're getting birdhouse strats on Mothula here from Zelda.
Yeah, this is, given that he's on 2 hearts, this is not certainly not the worst decision I've seen. I think Zelda does still have that red potion. Yep, he pops it right there. Now he will use his sword and his hammer to, I think, clean up the rest of this fight. There he goes.
Gets rewarded with 20 rupees, but his first crystal.
Yep. And also, importantly, one of our 2 red crystals that will unlock the big bomb for us later on. Goomba's clearing up his, or finishing up his check here of the 2 chests of Turtle Rock. Sorry.
Okay, now we're going to see where the upper part of Paradox. We haven't seen this one, right?
Correct. Yeah, we've only seen the bottom entrance on Goomba's side there that goes up to the floating island, but we have not seen this entrance yet.
Oh,
and that's also an important one. So that takes us to the top of Bumper Cave there. And unfortunately, unfortunately, no real, no great shakes there from the Light World equivalent there. So not missing out on much up there.
I think it's going to be kind of like interesting to see where Zelda will actually end up going here soon, because the options for Zelda, I mean, Zelda got a few options, but they're running out pretty fast here soon.
Yeah, he's really, I don't know how much more he has left then going over, like, there's a few entrances in South Dark World that he has left for right now. There's the 2 entrances over at the Ice Rod Cave area. We know he can always do that Eastern dip. We can get our first look at the Spiral Cave entrance, which is unfortunately nothing. But yeah, he's probably running a little bit low on options here, despite the item loadout that he's got.
Hookshot for Goomba here, and he found Ice Pals, said no to Ice Pals right now. So, which I understand at this point.
Yeah. So Zelda's going to go back into Dark World here and take the... he's gonna go pick up Hookshot Cave here, so that's 4 items that we have not seen yet. As Goomba finally gets to activate his flute here after mirroring from Village of Outcasts.
It's been such a long time since I saw Hookshot Cave, I actually forgot that Hookshot Cave was here. Small Kid's Pod.
So that is the 3rd pod Small Key that we have seen between the 2 runners.
And that was it.
That was pretty much it for Hookshot Cave. Goomba, meanwhile, is going to go back and finish off Eastern Palace here, having that big key and the bow in hand. Whereas Zelga's going to check out and see where the other side of Hookshot Cave takes us to.
Well, I mean, it's kind of nice to know that you don't need to go back there. So
yeah, that is nice in a sense, but certainly not the most useful of connectors there that you did. 3 screen transitions each way for. We just see 20 rupees there from the Eastern Palace big chest on Goomba's side. And he is going to make his way into the back here and kill the 6 Dancing Armos Knights. And we will find out the prize there for this and see if it is, in fact, Goomba's 3rd crystal or if we have our first pendant collection of the race.
I mean, there was a glove here early on. This has to be like a pendant at this point. You can't get reward like that, getting a glove from Eastern Palace that early.
That is a good point. You just can't have too many good things in one dungeon, especially not Eastern of all places.
Nice quick kill from Goomba, piece of heart, and oh wait, okay, never mind. It's a crystal.
Meanwhile, on Zelga's side, we see the the middle entrance there of Spectacle Rock Cave. Unfortunately, just three bombs there is the item in Spectacle Rock, so he's not gonna go chasing that, and he will get his first look there and see the piece of heart at the Lumberjack drop at Sanctuary. But that is a 3rd crystal for Goomba there, and he's going to continue his clear here of the village. And Zelda, I think, is going to head across the river here and actually get get to explore Tower of Hera here for the first time.
I wonder if Goomba wants to wait for Ice Palace or if he wants to just do it now.
Yeah, that is a good question here. One good thing for if you're cheering for Zelga here or just cheering for a close race is that after he does this, I think almost certainly his next best option is going to be to hop into that whirlpool portal. Boy, that's easy to say. And head over to the dark shopping mall area, at which point he will have the opportunity to mirror and get that glove out of the front of Thieves Town. So that will get him kind of back on pace here, at least with Goomba on getting that first glove.
Can I just say, Will, that I'm happy that you're saying the hard words and I don't need to do it.
It's I didn't do all of my usual tongue twisters and everything in preparation for this race. So Whirlpool Portal is certainly one that I will practice for next time.
I'm just sitting here casually, not saying hard words because I don't want to do it.
Yeah, no, that's the smart way. Work smarter, not harder. Zelda is going to give us our first look here at the Hera basement. We'll see if this is anything important here that Goomba left behind as he collects his Hera small key, ironically. Just a piece of heart, though, so as much as that may concern Goomba later, it is not something that he will have any issues with leaving behind at this point.
I'm pretty sure that Goomba just casually thinks like, well, I've already done Hera, I'm not going back because I've isolated that part of the area completely.
Yeah, and that may be one thing that factored into Goomba's decision not to clear Ice Palace there. We already know that he is orphaned the big chest of Thieves Town there. We know that he has left behind the basement of Hera, which is not in an not in an accessible location by any means. He may have been thinking, I'm just going to put off ice for a little bit just to avoid having, yet another orphan single item that will take me, 1 to 2 minutes to complete later on if I'm on a Castle Tower small key hunt or something like that.
Yeah, I think that's probably it's really, as like you said as well, it's pretty easy to go back to Ice Palace. So just waiting a little bit, maybe get some Moria before you dip in there. It makes it a little bit faster. You don't need to do the bomb jumping.
Right.
I am very curious about all these maps. I want to see a map checks here. See, oh well, there is one. The Desert Palace is small. It's a crystal, so.
Yep. So we know. We now know 6 of our crystals. It's going to be 1 out of Ice, Mire, or Turtle Rock. That is our last one that we require.
We do have the map for Turtle Rock, right?
Yes, I believe that. I know that Zelga has it. I don't know if Goomba has found it yet.
I really want to see that map from Celia.
But yeah, potentially we could be, especially if, Ice Palace ends up being that last crystal, we could be looking at, just Swamp Small, Desert Big, and those 2 Castle Tower keys for our go mode here.
That is very interesting this early on. Like, we're only like a little bit more than an hour in, and we have so much knowledge to this. It's pretty crazy so far. 4 keys for Zelda going into Pod.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot more of Palace of Darkness here on Zelga's side with his key loadout than we saw with Goomba when he found it here with only having 1 in hand.
And also just knowing that this is a pendant pod, you may not need to beat this dungeon, which is pretty nice to just be able to use your keys.
Right. So we see the big key chest there from Zelga early. Zelga does not have that bow yet that Goomba got out of GT because Zelga does not have access to Ganon's Tower yet, which is glove locked. So we'll see if he chooses to try like I guess he's already used his potion as well, so he does not have any options other than mimic clipping if he wants to complete the right side. Unless we find a second bow in here.
I mean, it is pod. I wouldn't be too surprised if there's another bow in here.
It certainly does seem to be the meme here. But yeah, we're gonna have our first view of the back here. Just a heart piece there in the compass chest. Make our way into dark basement. Whereas Goomba's giving us our first look here at the South Dark World. First check Swamp Palace and the Hype Cave entrances.
Oh, there's a small cute castle tower here.
Okay, so that is... Oh, and there's Hype Cave here at the Swamp Palace entrance. So we know now that Goomba's going to have to make a return visit to over there. As he finds a pod small key, and more importantly, he finds the cane Samaria, which gives him access to now full clear Misery Mire if and when we find it.
Yeah, this is turning out to be pretty nice.
Yeah. And Goomba finally gets to turn the smith in here for just a compass.
Big key here in Dark Maze, Ice Palace.
Okay.
So that will actually make it pretty nice for, well, I guess, yeah, never mind. Zelda doesn't have the fire sources.
Yeah, still doesn't have that fire rod from Hobo yet, or the bombos. Which I don't remember where we got that exactly. Was that?
Ooh, wasn't? That is a good question. Where did we find our fire sources?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Goomba giving us our first look over here at Ice Palace entrance and finds Spike Cave. He's going to go ahead and take his hookshot and burn-in cape and just go ahead and get that checked out of the way. As Zelda doing nice bufferless mimic clip there. You see the mimics kind of wiggling their way into the wall. We're trying to move them through the wall there and get them off the screen here.
Yikes. Spike Cave having that small key to Thieves Town.
Okay, that's interesting. And there go the mimics as you see them drift peacefully off the screen. And Zelda will get to check these two chests on the right side here. He gets his pieces of heart and heads out. Having checked everything but the big chest there and Helmasaur. Zelda finally going to find his way into Thieves Town here, get his first glove, and kind of get back on track a little bit with this, with his routing here. As Goomba's going to make his first foray here into the main areas of Skull Woods that Zelda has already explored.
Now, I really hope that for Zelda, that Zelda finds the GT at this point before going into Eastern Palace.
Yes, that bow would be very nice for him. One thing that we have not seen yet from either runner, obviously Goomba is going to have access to both sides of the basement here, but both of our runners having the hammer and hookshot in hand will be able to clear the left side at least all the way to the Ice Armos. So whenever they do find it, or whenever Goomba chooses to go back there, there's going to be a lot of items that we get to see out of that sequence as well.
It looks like Zelda's going to do exactly what Goomba did earlier, just going to clear out this dungeon.
Yeah, so Zelga will get his second crystal here. He will leave behind the big chest as well. But as someone pointed out in chat, with those mitts being in here and that small key being at the Ice Palace entrance, this is logically require double dip of Thieves Town. So one way or another, you're going to have to do this twice if you want to full clear it. And
there's the dam.
At the back of Skull Woods entrance is our first appearance of the dam. So Goomba is going to be the first one to find that, since Zelga did not, and still does not have, the fire rod from Hobo when he cleared Skull Woods.
Definitely it feels like that Goomba found a route in here. He's on his path here.
Yeah, Goomba has... Getting that early glove has allowed Goomba to just really kind of, it feels like, nail the route on this one a little bit, with how he's been finding, just item leading into item here. Zelga just finding that glove out of Thieves Town there will probably get back on track here, but he will have a few more orphan checks to get back to, including, of course, Ganon's Tower that we know is up at the climb to Death Mountain there.
Yeah, hopefully Zelga will do that before going to Eastern, so you can just single dip Eastern Palace.
Right. And I'd expect that he would, honestly, knowing Zelga. He's gonna commit to that play of waiting that Eastern Palace dip for basically as long as it makes sense to. So for him, I think, knowing that there's even more to explore now, having those gloves in hand, I think he's probably going to chase those for a little bit before going back to Eastern.
All right, where is Goomba heading?
I thought Goomba had checked all of these entrances earlier, but it's like we are continuing to check through Kakariko here. He's going to take his connector back up here to the Dark Lumberjack area.
Oh yeah, this will give him the entrance right here, and being able to mirror back to GT here.
Yeah, that's a good call. I think that may have just been like a mismark or something on his side in terms of which one of those was the actual connector, because I know he explored it earlier. There we see Bumper Cave.
This is the first time we saw Bumper Cave, right?
I believe so, yes. I think the only thing we have left in terms of interesting connectors to follow is to find that Turtle Rock Bridge, but I think we found all of the other interesting connector locations that would be like mirror locked or anything like that.
Yeah, we haven't found Mystery Mire. That's the only dungeon, right?
Correct, I believe. Misery Mire. We still have a couple of entrances of Turtle Rock that we have not found yet. Both the front and back entrances we have not seen yet, but Mire is the only dungeon that we have not seen at all yet at this point.
Maybe we'll see this GT play, and then maybe we'll follow Bumper Cave.
Yeah, I would not be totally surprised to see that play from Goomba here as he waits out the floating tiles of the tile room there for a heart container. And continues on the right side here to the compass room. Zelka, meanwhile, he picks up his Ganon's Tower small key here from the Hylia Island, and is now going to get his fire rod from the Hobo here. So that'll be good in getting him back on track here as well.
And Zelga has that advantage of the big key to Ice Palace if he wants to dip into ice later on.
Yep. Goomba gets 3/4 of a heart and some blue mail there from the right side, but otherwise nothing of any great interest there in Compass Room. And now he's going to head back and complete the left side here of the basement that he started doing earlier with the bomb jump over to the Stalfos room.
Oh yeah, this is where he found bombos earlier.
That's right. That's where it was. Yeah. Just 20 rupees there in the map chest. Zelga's going to come back out of the Hyrule Castle East entrance here. And
this is going
to put him back out in South Dark World.
Oh, yeah.
So he's going to get... I think he's going to make his way down here to get the Bomb Shop and Swamp and Hype Cave entrances that he hasn't checked yet. So he will get his Samaria here as well, if he does follow that route. There's the Ice Rod in the Fire Snake room.
This is pretty interesting right now.
Yeah. So, now... now at this point, we're just, regardless of which one of those 3 dungeons is our last crystal, we're just a Turtle Rock Small Key away from having access, or Turtle Rock Big Key, rather, from having access to clear all of those at this point.
Yeah, we technically we don't need much because we can beat every single dungeon right now. We only need two. Well, we only need a few keys here, which is
we need those swamp and that second castle tower small keys, and we need that desert big key. Yep. Good use there of the quick swap strat there to throw the bomb and then immediately hookshot over the gap there in the warp room of GT, and then also good job taking the damage boost across the pit there from the Mini Helmosaur on Goomba's side.
I've never thought about doing that before.
There is a very useless Quake for us. Well, useless except if we need to do the shake storage later in lieu of finding boots for access to Ganon, but I think that's already been well discussed in the chat at this point.
All right, we have Big Key 2. There's the Turtle Rock Big Key, Tempered Sword, and a small key to Swamp. Oh boy!
Oh wow, that is so. Whenever Zelga makes his way to Ganon's Tower, there, he's going to have access to all of those items as well, and that's going to open up quite a bit for him. We are going to see this see Goomba follow this bumper cave connector here and see where it comes out.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was actually the what was hiding under that hookshot cave entrance all along. Goomba, having not checked these 2 entrances down here, is going to get his Turtle Rock map from Chess Game here, and I would not be surprised to see him.
Oh, it's Pendant Turtle Rock.
Yeah, so we got a Pendant TR, which means that one of Ice or Mire is our final crystal, and one is our final pendant. But yeah, Goomba's going to walk over here, mirror, and probably take out Mothula as well, that we saw Zelga do earlier.
So, we haven't found any maps at all for Mire or Ice Palace on Zelga's side.
Correct, yeah. Neither runner has found those maps yet. So, we don't have that information yet, but Zelga now, when he makes his way back into, I guess, Village of Outcasts, if he goes that direction from here, he will have access to full clear Ice Palace at this point, as he's going to discover GT here behind that glove and go ahead and get his Swamp Small and TR Big and other assorted goodies out of here, as well as that first bow. So yeah, now Zelga, once he gets back to the village area here, he'll have Eastern and Ice Palace both fully clearable there for him. Unfortunately, will not be able to do the Swamp Palace play yet because because he has not found the dam yet, which is at the back of Skullwood's entrance.
So I think this might be clear Skullwoods for Goomba here, and then just flute immediately back to... I think it was Kakariko that had got Swamp House, right?
That is correct.
So I'm interested here to... this might be that he does this, and then maybe tries and just goes for the Ice Palace play right after this.
I definitely...
Oh, there's the boots.
There are boots in the first chest
Well,
of
then
Swamp Palace.
time to go fast, I guess.
Yeah, finally a little bit of speed for Goomba there. Meanwhile, Zelga has made his way over through the right side of GT. Got his blue mail. And is probably going to grab the small key here and mirror back to the left side.
So now we have that access to that small key on library, which could be Castle Tower small key at this point. Maybe,
Right.
potentially.
Yeah, that is a possibility here. Of course, we know we still need on Goomba's side, regardless of whatever else he needs. We know he has to get that Desert Palace big key, and we know he needs both of the Castle Tower small keys. We saw one of them in the back of Palace of Darkness in the dark basement that Goomba explored earlier, but only having one small key could not check out the basement. So he will have to make his way back there at some point.
Yeah, I think that wouldn't I think that could happen pretty soon, to be honest. I think Goomba got 5 small keys now. So.
Yeah, that's what he has tracked on his side. So in that case, he would have access to pretty much everything there that isn't big key locked. We are going to see him go ahead and go through left side swamp here and get these two chests that are a little bit longer to check as Zelga makes his way through the left side of Ganon's tower.
Okay, let's see if we have. So the dream right here would probably be just picking up that big key to Desert and then a small key to Castle Tower in here in Swamp, and just try and beeline for that. Hope and pray that you get that Castle Tower small as soon as possible.
Right. Yeah, I think in Goomba's situation, if you find, especially if you find that Desert big key here, you're probably going to go ahead and just clear ice for sure after this, at least the 7 chests that you have access to, and then then probably just start chasing item density, at which point Pod would be pretty high up the list.
Yeah.
Nothing there on left side swamp for Goomba, as we see Zelga making his way back to the Ice Armos tier, where he will get his Swamp Small, TR Big, and Tempered Sword all in one go.
This has been quite friendly so far, so I assume it's going to be pretty bad sooner or later, since we are looking for 1 Castle Tower small key.
Yeah, it's not like any...
Well...
Yeah, I know. We're already entering that stage where we hold our breath every time we see a small key pop up out of a chest. Just a nice Palace small key there from the big chest of Swamp on Goomba's side.
It will make that Ice Palace play a little bit faster with that small key as well.
Yep, and 2 heart containers there in the flooded room of Swamp for Goomba. Not that he will have any particular need for them at this point in the seed, already being on 13 hearts and blue mail.
So Boots giving us a few more entrances where the what is it called now? Mire could be.
Yeah, so that does open up 4 new entrances for us that we did not have access to previously. Zelga, meanwhile, finding his way up there to the Hookshot Cave and just going to flute away, having already explored pretty much everything else over there on the mountain at this point. And I think he is finally making his trip into Eastern Palace now. Having that bow, having that big key, he is staying true to his morals there and going to do a single dip of Eastern Palace, where he will see that second glove, or the mitts there in the compass chest, as Goomba takes down Arcus on his side.
I think whenever Zelda finds that pair of glove, either he will be quite happy or he will be like, well, this is what you get for not dipping into...
I don't know, I don't know enough of Zelga's mindset going in here to think about how much he is metagaming here against Goomba, or how much he thinks Goomba is metagaming him by doing an early Eastern Palace dip. But he may, if he sees that glove there, he may think, Goomba might have made this play earlier, knowing kind of that I'm going to put this off.
Yeah.
And he may start to feel a little bit behind when he sees that.
And here we go, Ice Palace play. Let's see if this is the last crystal we know, or we will need. But I kind of feel like this might be a pendant, because why would it be this easy?
We could just have to go through some ridiculous shenanigans to find our Mire entrance at, say, vanilla GT entrance. It's not like that has recently happened in a Crosskeys race today, where a Castle Tower key was hiding in GT entrance.
Oh yeah, that can definitely happen, so...
Yeah. Not to try and place a curse on these runners in any way, but it did happen in an earlier race today between Andy and 2C, and... It's very rare that you see that GT entrance, coming into play in a big way in a Crosskeys race, but it sure did there.
And we do have actually some of really bad locations for these runners, because they have actually isolated some checks, so there is some nasty spots for them.
Right. And it could, it also could come down to finding that ether to open up the two medallion locked locations. There's still a lot of potential for shenanigans here. Nothing so far from the right side of Ice Palace for Goomba. He is going to continue over here. Not going to be able to check that big chest, unfortunately, but we'll get the Freezor chest and presumably Iced Tea here. Nice bomb jump over there, going across. We'll get to use that small key he picked up earlier from Swamp and go ahead and open up the door here to Ice Tea Room. As Zelda is making his way to the back of Eastern Palace here, having a little trouble there with the Igors, but otherwise hopefully not gonna have too much difficulty taking down Armos Knights there.
Shouldn't be any issues at all here. Should be pretty straightforward here. Zelda with good execution, all that.
Yeah, and Goomba is gonna go down and drop into his Cold Stare fight, and we will get the last of our information here on our side on Pendant Crystal layout, and see whether or not we need to find that Mire location required to complete the 7 crystals, or if it is potentially looming out there is just another item dense location for us to get back to.
So what do you think, Will? Is this the last crystal?
I think this is going to be a crystal. We've got all that we need to put this in logic for this clear, but we'll see.
Oh, it is Pendant.
Oh. All right. Yep, it was always going to be way too easy. Like I've always said.
Well, at least we know that it's a pendant. We know we need to find Meyer sooner or than later. So, and the good part is we can actually clear it whenever we find it in one go. So it's pretty straightforward here. So.
Yep. And Zelga, now armed with his mitts, finds his Thieves' Small Key over there at Ice Palace entrance, as well as Goomba's going to give us our first look at the Hammer Pegs entrance. And find another Hammond's Tower Small Key.
I mean, a small key to GT is always nice, but it's not the small key we actually want and deserve, right?
Correct. It's not the one that I think Goomba would have preferred to see, especially, him not having found either of those yet at this point. He's starting to think, probably getting a little nervous. We get our first check of the big chest of TR, so Zelga's going to give us some new information here.
Haven't Zelga done these checks already?
He has. I think he's going back here to get the Poke Key that he skipped earlier, and then he's going to go, I imagine, probably go and kill Trinex at this point, and give us our first look at Laser Bridge.
A Laser Bridge could actually be on that Turtle Rock bridge, because we haven't found that one yet.
Correct, yeah. It could be there, and it could also be that Turtle Rock front entrance that we find there as well.
But we have some entrances we haven't found, which is kind of silly, since we have had, mirror mid since, 30 minutes in.
Yeah. That's the thing, is that, the options, especially on Goomba's side, having that glove earlier, really been wide open for him, which has given him, he's found, I think, a very good path through this seed in terms of item clear and everything like that. But
well, here it comes, small key. Which one is it? Oh, it's Mystery Meyer. Of course it is.
So. Those early small keys, none of them really that were visible, at least, not paying out in any interesting fashion for our runners here today.
So what do you do now then? I guess you have to check more entrances, because Mystery Meyer is out there somewhere.
Right. Yeah. I mean, Goomba's gonna be checking his boots entrances, having found the boots here. I think that makes perfect sense. Whereas Zelga, we're going to see what we get here from Laser Bridge.
Red Mail's nice.
Red Mail.
Big Key 2. Oh.
Well, that's a fetch quest that you don't necessarily love to see.
Big Key 2. Oh, there's the Desert Palace Big Key.
All right. So
and there's Mini Moment Key as well, so...
Yeah. So, and there, like you said, there is our TR Bridge access there at the back of TR. So we'll get to see what's at Mimic Cave today on Zelda's side.
Ooh, Silver Arrows. Small Key 2. Oh, Third Rock.
Meanwhile, nothing doing up there on the bridge for Zelga. But yeah, Goomba getting the Silver Arrows there is nice out of Bonk Rocks there.
Okay, so we're going to get a pendant here, because there's, I see, you have to do this at this point. You will get your Turtle Rock main entrance as well, which got 3 items.
I think that's the kind of the motivating factor here is, you go clear this, and then you get those other 3 checks here as well once you finish this up. And it looks like Goomba's going to be following right behind here, so he's going to get that Desert Big and have everything he needs to clear his 6th crystal at that point.
We only need to find out Mystery Meyer, which, I mean, could be pretty much everywhere. We haven't really checked all entrances.
Right. I don't think we have seen either of the boots-locked entrances by Link's house and the bomb shop. But it could also be behind behind Ether Medallion, rather, that we still have yet to find.
Small key for Pod.
I think that is between the 2 runners, that is our last Pod small key to find. And I think Zelga actually has found all 6 of them, as we have marked on our tracker.
Okay, so we got 3 items here in the front part of Turtle Rock, so this is going to be interesting as well.
That Skullwoods big key kind of motivates Zelga to get back over to Skullwoods and hopefully get that dam entrance found over there at the back of Skullwoods.
Yeah, he needs to find it really fast here, right, because
Goomba is definitely gaining time on him the longer he goes with these boots that he got out of Swamp Palace. And Zelga, I mean, he has a lot of the same information that Goomba has, and he's found a lot of the same things, but is definitely behind in crystal clears, and definitely behind just in kind of general, if this does come down to a Castle Tower small key hunt,
Well, there's the Easter Medallion, so we can open up Mire and Turtle Rock.
So that I think no matter what, we have our guaranteed access at this point to Misery Mire.
All right,
so we're gonna go ahead and clear out Desert Boss here as Goomba heads across the Samaria Bridge here to fight Trinex.
I actually forgot that we had this entrance right here to Desert, so...
Good clean phase 1 there from Goomba on his side. And a nice phase 2 getting the double spin.
I just realized we have some of these ugly one-off checks. We have the Blind's Hideout, we have that bombable wall we never got to see, so...
right. Yeah,
there is some.
You've got that and the second chest of Castle Tower there, at least for Zelga having the one small key. Both of those chests are available to us.
Yes, there is some one of the we got Thieves big chest, of course.
Right.
Ice Palace big chest. There's some one of these really bad options here.
Yeah. And if for Goomba, those bad options are kind of adding up a little bit. Of course, he's got that Ice Palace big chest orphaned as well, in addition to those, and the Hera basement checks. So he's got some. He's still got some kind of stinky options if he doesn't find that Castle Tower key kind of on the happy path here.
And that is for Zelga's part, that's actually good for him. As long as he can start nailing down where he needs to go, and as fast as possible. And Mire is not Mire.
Yep. So just 10 arrows there.
So we have, for Goomba, we actually have the whole part of the Big Bomb as well.
Yes.
We have that and Turtle Rock and main entrance. Other than that, we don't really have that many options right now, that we haven't seen before, because Zelga's done a lot of checks and Goomba has 2 boots checks, right?
Right, I believe so, yeah. And those ether checks.
Yeah. So this is going to be an interesting check, since Zelga is going to do Ice Palace. We're going to get one check we haven't seen before.
Yep. And meanwhile, Goomba on his side is going to go ahead and clear out the Land Mola's fight as well, get his 6th crystal, and then really begin his, I guess continue his hunt for Misery Mire, but then really be hunting for those 2 Castle Tower small keys from there.
Yeah, so if this is a CT small here in Ice, this is going to be huge for Zelga.
Yeah, that would definitely change kind of the tone of this race, if that were the case, because then Zelga would have... He would be in item go mode at that point, and really just need that dam entrance and the mire entrance if he finds that second castle tower small key here.
There is still possibilities for some twists and turns in this seed. We still haven't even found the GT big key yet, or pod. So the seed can definitely take some weird ways before we even find out where that small key is.
Yeah, if you're kind of handicapping this race right now, Goomba's definitely in the better position here, having the crystal advantage, having already cleared a lot of these kind of lengthier dungeons that Zelga still has to do. But there are some definite outs on Zelga's side here in terms of where that castle tower small key is going to be located. And this Ice Palace big chest is definitely one of them here that would be a pretty big swing.
What do we have? A small key to...
Yeah, I saw that number tick up there at the top, and I was like, oh, well, there goes the drama.
I need to start looking at that. Man.
Alright, so the Dark Bomb Rocks over here by Bomb Shop has a Graveyard Ledge in it, and it's a map that Goomba does not need, having already gained his full map knowledge. Zelga's going to finish up his Ice Palace clear here with Ice Tea Room, and then make his way around over to fight Cold Stare.
So this is... No? Where could this one lead us? Turtle Rock? Nah.
We haven't seen Safety Door of Turtle Rock yet.
Oh yeah, okay, never mind. So I guess Mire is going to be in Turtle Rock at this point.
It's there, or it's at the Big Bomb location, I think, at this point.
So where was the Big Bomb now again?
Actually, have we seen Pod from either of these runners?
I don't think so, actually.
Yeah. The Bomb Shop was up on West Death Mountain at the Spectacle Rock Cave entrance.
Oh, okay.
But, yeah.
So it's not that hard to do.
Yeah, no, it's just a half a mountain climb away. Goomba's going to clean up here and get the Desert Palace big chest checked.
And we have 20 rupees. Okay, so this is going to be the pod entrance, and then...
And then I guess he'll probably clear those last two entrances, get Turtle Rock and the Big Bomb checked. Zelga getting his blue pendant, from clearing Ice Palace, but does have the peace of mind that Goomba doesn't in knowing that dungeon is fully cleared.
Okay, so Zelga, you need to go up. You need to go to Skull Woods, because you got the Fire Rod.
Yep, he is going to grab the Smith here, and we'll see. He's pulling that mirror out. I don't know if he's going to check... He's going to check hammer pegs here, and then who knows what.
Oh, there's Mire.
There is our Misery Mire location there at the pod entrance. So, 8 items in here for Goomba to grab. Get his 7th crystal, and then he will be for sure on a hunt for at least one Castle Tower small key.
So that's going to lead him to pod, most likely, because if you don't find anything here that could, well, if you find pod big key here, that would be a really good shout here. Just go to pod.
That would definitely direct him there. I think even just the knowing that the 7 items there in pod are available, that'll probably direct him back there sooner than later.
There's the book.
There is chat's favorite item, the book, which you just love to see at an hour 41 in when you were hunting for small keys.
Just one of those items will be like, when do I check Bombos and Ether?
Yeah. So that'll be interesting to see how Goomba chooses to route those in, having already cleared most of those respective areas. As we await the cutscene chest here in Misery Mire. And Zelda, unfortunately, going to kind of leave that Skull Woods area for now, taking the purple chest and returning that.
Did Zelda check Skull Woods earlier? I guess he did.
Yeah,
right?
he went there pretty early on. Has not gone back for the big chest after having found that big key on Laser Bridge. But we know that he has to get back there at some point to get that dam entrance found.
Okay, so this is good for Zelda. He's going to find his mire at least.
Yeah, so I think he's going to duck in here, do the same thing that Goomba just did, and checking that desert big chest, and then making his way up to Misery Mire as well.
The boots were in the first chest of Swamp Palace, which is kind of gross when you think about it. I think Goomba had the opportunity to pick them up like maybe 20 minutes after he pulled it out, but skipped it. There's the shovel, of course.
Yeah, speaking of fun fetch quests, there's our shovel. So we've got plenty of scattered things to do now coming out of Mire, and so Goomba will have to wait those in with his decision on whether he goes back to Pod or some of the other dungeons where he's orphaned items at this point.
Well, since we already got the book and shovel here, just give our runners the power as well. We can just have all the fetch quests done.
You've been hanging out in chats too long.
Just, lighting more fire to the, to the pain here with the options we have.
So yeah, we do see Zelda making his way into Misery Mire here. He's going to do the same full clear that Goomba is wrapping up as he makes his way to the back here. So Zelda will get the joy of finding that book and that shovel here as well, en route to getting his 6th crystal. But he will continue hunting entrances at this point, looking for the dam that he knows he needs, as well as his 2nd castle tower small key.
I mean, if you think about how long, sure, we don't have the dam on Zelda's side, but since we know how long he haven't had the boots, he's not that far away from Goomba.
Right, yeah, I mean, and depending on where that castle tower key shows up, Zelda might or might not get the kind of advantage if he finds that key before finding Swamp, of getting to go mode Swamp, whereas Goomba had to full clear it. That sort of thing could make a difference here late in this race.
So where do you go now? Where do you go now with Goomba? Because
yeah, obviously, like we've been saying, Pod is an appealing option just for sheer number of items.
And also that we know that there is one small key there, and we need that one.
Right. So we do have that little bit of information. Goomba's going to start by checking out this shovel here, which is, a pretty quick check there from that Fleet 4 spot.
And it is a big. Oh, this
no.
GT big key.
No, it's Pod.
Okay,
So that's probably good for Goomba. That's going to direct him back and at least get him the one Pod small key that we know about, probably sooner than later. I think he's going to come down here and get. No, he's okay. Yeah, he's going to go into Dark World here. I would think probably get that Bombos tablet check done here as well.
Yeah, this is because Pod was in Dark Shopping Mall, right?
Correct.
Yes, he will just swim over and be podding.
I would think that would be where he would want to go after this.
This is the green pendant as well with Pod, so that there is actually more items than. I think his tracker says 9 items left in there, so
Correct.
it's going to be 10 items.
And one other thing is that Sahasrahla is up on the mountain, which we, for Goomba here in terms of routing, if he needs to get back up there and check, I have not been tracking, item caves, but he could potentially check the Turtle Rock entrance, he could check Sahasrara, Ether Tablet, GT Entrance, and the Bomb Shop all in one go there if he does pod here soon. So that would be kind of another just a little piece of efficient routing here if he is going to end up having to full clear the seed that he could use to his advantage here.
I'm a little bit worried here for Zelga's side. He really needs to go to Skullwoods. Like, he needs those boots to speed us up a little bit.
Right. And so, yeah, we see Goomba swimming over here to Dark Shopping Mall. I'm pretty sure Pod is the only thing over here, although he might. You never know, he might see him while he's over here in the area pick up the Thieves Town Big Chest as well, which is just the Light World equivalent here, Pod.
Do you really think he will do that?
It depends. I wouldn't be my first choice, especially having Flute here and kind of a quick access to Thieves Town, but he may choose, he may think, well, it's right here. Why not just go ahead and do it now? It's not going to get any faster later on if I have to do it. So, we'll see what kind of priority he gives to that check.
Yeah, let's see. We can clear this dungeon. I think we saw everything in here from Zelga's side except the Big Chest and Helma.
Correct.
So this is new info.
Yep.
Then we have all of these one-off areas we left earlier.
Yeah.
That is probably, I don't think you feel that good.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Zelga taking down Vitreous over there. Unfortunately, had a slightly slower fight due to not having the silver arrows, but does get his 6th crystal. And we'll see what direction he goes in from here, knowing that he is primarily looking for that dam to unlock Swamp Palace.
Looks like, well, this is going to be Dark World. The main question is, where do you go now?
Yeah.
You need to go north.
Yeah, if he goes north from here, then he's back on track.
Okay, this is good. This is going to lead him to Skullwoods Big and a dam. So this is going to be pretty good.
We were talking earlier about outs for Zelga in this race, and Castle Tower Big Key, or Castle Tower Small Key being here at the Big Chest of Swamp would definitely be one for him, giving him the opportunity to go mode Swamp Palace.
Oh
my goodness.
Well.
My goodness. So now, once Zelga gets back to the back of Skullwoods here and finds the dam, he is in go mode.
The main question is here.
Oh yeah, he still needs the boots, but he's going to find those in the first chest of Swamp. So yeah, because he needs the boots to open the tree. But
I mean, when do you think?
When does Goomba get back there?
Yeah, because this is gonna lead Goomba up on the mountain.
Yeah, I feel like making this play, you probably follow it up to Sahasrara and all of the other things up there. But wow, yeah, this race just took a huge swing based off of that Castle Tower Key location.
This is getting spicy now.
Yeah.
We're getting a pet check, even though we know we don't need a pet check. Okay, well, I mean...
to the Evil Tower, so... Ganon's Tower, small key on pedestal, but yeah, Zelga's gonna hop right back here into Swamp. Oh no, he's gonna check the flooded item here first.
He's looking for boots at the moment.
Right, yeah.
So.
He needs those boots, but he's gonna find them right here in the first chest of Swamp Palace. Whereas Goomba is gonna be still searching around, and who knows when that he's really only got a couple of minutes here to make his way over to
Because that's go mode for Zelda.
Yeah, right there at 152. Zelda is now in go mode with those boots. He's not going to clear anything else in here. Oh no, and there's the GT big key.
Oh boy, no, this is... I mean, this could be good in one way, because it... no, it won't.
Yeah.
Because GT is in the... oh boy.
Yeah, I could see a world where it pulls him back in that direction, maybe, but oh boy.
Oh, this is not going good for...
Let's see where Goomba chooses to flip to here. Okay, he is going to 3.
Are you going to Dark World? I think he's going for Dark World.
Okay, so this could be very good for Goomba here if he goes north into Skullwood.
Which
he is switching the bombs. That feels promising. Okay,
yeah,
he is going north. So this is going to be go mode for Goomba here. About a little over a minute after Zelda, but he's going to have nothing left to clear other than Castle Tower and Ganon. So it's going to be, especially with those silver arrows that he found earlier, it's going to be advantage Goomba here, back in his favor. So yeah, there's go mode about 1 minute and 20 seconds after Zelda has it. Zelga's still about 3 rooms away from his Argus fight here that he needs for his 7th crystal, whereas Goomba now can flute up to the mountain, head over to the Spike Cave entrance, and go straight for that Aga 1 fight, and then head over to Ganon at the Lumberjack tree.
So that GT big key was actual blessing from the sky for Goomba. Because I don't think he would go there if he didn't get that big key.
Right. Getting his mirror shield as well, getting his 7th crystal, much more importantly, but he's going to be a little bit over, probably a little bit, close to about a minute and a half here behind Goomba, entering Castle Tower.
I'm not going to rule anything out, but this is definitely Goomba's race to lose, but I've seen crazier things in Rando, so...
Yeah, it's definitely, it's definitely going to take something here for Goomba. Did he pick up the gold sword there in the
in pod big chest?
Oh, was it? Okay, I missed that. Yeah, but so even more of just another slight advantage in Goomba's favor here in terms of what's left here. It's going to basically take some sort of kind of execution mishap at this point.
Yeah, and at this point, like at this level of Zelda and Goomba, that will most likely not happen.
Yeah, both of these runners are top tier execution, and both of them, for the equipment that they have should have a pretty easy time with this Ganon fight.
But it became more close than I thought it would be. I didn't think that it would be this close between our runners with the start we had.
Yeah, I mean, Goomba, finding those early gloves, got to route in a whole bunch of stuff, routed very efficiently through this seed. And Zelda, he's gonna probably finish this one with a good, 10 to 20 checks fewer than Goomba, I think, at the end of this, but found his way to those 2 Castle Tower keys in good fashion there, and made this a very close race in the end.
I actually think that the boots might have been not having boots might have saved Zelda a little bit, even though it might sound stupid, but since Zelda never had the, that and late mids, Zelda never had to really do all these checks that Goomba did earlier. Right,
yeah, it's a little bit of a wash there, because obviously Goomba had, had an advantage in having the boots and for overworld traversal and for, some of the dungeons that they were in, but, finding him when he did, he gets to skip all of the boots entrances, he gets to skip 9 items, or 8 items out of Swamp Palace, including that left side swamp dip that Goomba had to do, so... that's a big time save there in terms of when Zelda found his items. Meanwhile, Goomba finishing his Aga 1 fight as Zelda starts it, so we get a very brief high five from the two runners there. As now Goomba only has a trip over to the Lumberjack tree and a Ganonkel ahead of him.
And this, with Silver Arrows, Butter Sword, it's going to be a nice... Where is... Oh yeah, he's going to use this portal, never mind.
Take the Whirlpool portal. There, nailed it. Over here from the Flute 8 spot and get right to the Lumberjack tree. We will release a few bees on the way.
Not the bees, dude.
And now he will drop into his Ganon fight just past 1 minute 58 seconds here.
And of course, Ganon telling him to not stand close to him.
Zelda finishing up his Aga fight here. Will be just a little bit over a minute behind still in terms of getting over here to this Ganon fight. But he will also have a slightly longer fight, not having those silver arrows here, than Goomba will, who has already made quick work of those first two phases and on to phase 3 of his Ganon fight.
It's a very smooth fight, especially when you have the equipment of Goomba right now, and of course the execution. Silver Arrow number 1.
Yep, and we're gonna wait for Ganon to come back down here, line it up.
2, 3,
stick
4.
3 arrows in him very quickly. So get your GGs in chat for Goomba, who, as long as he crosses the bridge safely here, will win tonight's race.
Goomba will be 4-0, right?
That is correct. So, GG Goomba finishing with an official race time GG time of 1 minute 59 seconds. 1 hour 59 minutes and 26 seconds.
That would be an amazing time otherwise.
You know, I wouldn't, if it was anyone but these two runners, that would be impossible, but meanwhile, we'll get to see Zelda finish up his Ganon fight here. He is on phase 2, I believe has his 12 hits in. And we'll start phase 3 here shortly.
This race definitely took its twist because if that small key wasn't in Skullwood's big chest, it would be a longer, search and find for Zelda here. So it became closer than we expected.
Yeah, that was definitely that Skullwood's big chest definitely. That played a big part in this and really kind of swung the pendulum back and forth there between the two runners as they each found that Castle Tower small key just a minute apart from each other. Zelda not having the silvers will have to do the 12 temperate sword spins here, but of course being the third place finisher of the main tournament, which just recently concluded, I think he has had plenty of practice on his silverless Ganon fights at this point. So, just a few hits left for him to wrap this up.
Yeah, just spin to win. And there we go.
There it is.
Get your GGs in chat for Zelda. Zelda taking down the big Ganon. There we go. 2 hours, 1 minute, 24 seconds.
So GG's to both of our runners. Fantastic race, decided by just slightly less than 2 minutes there. Got to see, after the kind of very similar early start, a lot of divergence there, as we were joined in the commentary booth by Goomba and Zelgadissan. GG's to both of you.
Yeah, GG's.
GG's, Helga.
Yo, GG's, man.
So, Goomba, I want to ask you, I know that I don't know your tendencies quite as much as Zelga, who is very much very much a proponent of the never dip Eastern Palace early mindset. Did you kind of factor that in terms of like a kind of meta thinking when you found it early there in Kakariko and then got that glove from it?
Yes, definitely. I've been leaning more towards always dipping it recently anyway, but knowing that Zelda basically never does it, I figured I should do it and see if I could pull some sort of advantage out of it.
And it's kind of funny because I was very close to just doing it myself, partially for the same reason, but I didn't.
Yeah, so that early glove definitely opened up. I think it made the routing go a lot more smoothly for you, especially in the early to mid stages of this one, Goomba. It took a while before Zelga ended up getting his first glove from Thieves Town, but it wasn't until, after finding Moon Pearl and Flippers, and he'd made his way over to Dark Shopping Mall and then Mirrored, that he found that. Whereas you were able to, route in and get, Ganon's Tower, find that really early on. You had that access to clear Ice Palace, a lot of other things like that were available to you early. Yeah,
I felt really good about my route basically up until I had 7 crystals and no Castle Tower small case. Didn't feel so good after that.
Yeah, so that was an interesting finish there because Zelga was actually the first one to find that second Castle Tower key, but he got there only about maybe a little less than a minute and a half before you made your way over there, Goomba. We were wondering, did finding that GT big key kind of sway you to go in that direction there, where you were going to maybe like do skull into GT climb, or were you thinking about
my plan was, since I had all 3 pendants, I wanted to try to leverage that, so I wanted to check the pedestal, but I figure if I'm gonna go check the pedestal, I may as well route in the skull big chest with that.
Gotcha.
And then after that, I was gonna go check Ether Tablet and turn in the green pendant. And if those didn't have the key, I was climbing GT after that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you had a few options there, Goomba, in the end. And I was like, please go to Skullwoods.
Yeah,
I had a lot of.
It was a race that it felt like Goomba was 1 to 2 dungeons ahead for most of it, largely in part to that early glove, as well as getting that fire rod a lot earlier than Zelga did. But with Zelga's routing, the way that it worked out, Zelga got to go mode Swamp Palace, didn't have to do any of the boots entrance checks, anything like that. Basically, it was just get the boots from finding the dam and then getting the boots from that first chest there, put you in go mode, let you make up a lot of time, Zelga.
Yeah, I kind of figured, especially when I got the glove from Eastern, I kind of thought my only real potential advantage was maybe I got the Moon Pearl first. But
I felt I was pretty early to the Moon Pearl as well, but I'm curious which one of us got it first.
Yeah, I don't actually remember which one of you found it first, but it was just a couple of minutes apart that you both made your way up there.
Yeah, you were both up on the I think you were the first one to Zelda to find the Moon Pearl, but just like barely a minute.
Okay, yeah, I kind of figured it had to be a pretty significant gap for me to even have a chance. It was kind of cool getting the second Castle Tower key into the dam, into the boots as like 3 consecutive things for go mode, but at the same time, I knew I was probably significantly behind, and obviously it sure sounds like I was.
You were a bit behind, but just being able to pull out a small key away, even though Goomba just got like a minute afterwards, you still made up a bunch of time there.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm not going to beat Goomba in a be more efficient throughout the entire game run, and especially whenever I'm at a glove disadvantage for probably the first hour plus. So, yeah, I'm just happy it was close and it was a good race.
Yeah, I feel like the seed catered to my playstyle really well with like early glove, mirror hammer, basically just everything you could ask for.
Right, yeah. Once you found that Moon Pearl, Goomba, your options were wide open with, hammer glove, flute, mirror, everything all at your disposal. So, it was kind of interesting getting to see how you chose to route that, and it ended up working out really well for you there after getting that Moon Pearl, going back and getting that fire rod immediately from Hobo, and then getting all the Dark Shopping Mall and Ice Rod Cave area done, and then getting up to that Tower of Hera at the Dark Potion Shop. all of that really worked well in your favor.
Yeah, I feel like I said, I feel like the seed went really, really well right up until I got my 7th crystal and still needed the castle tower keys, and then I just kind of did a bunch of garbage.
Yeah. So one thing we were kind of wondering, we kind of figured you probably had that meta knowledge that the early glove was in your favor. But we were wondering, kind of as the seed developed, later on there, it felt like you had more orphan checks than Zelga did, just by virtue of how you found the items, like the Harris Mall and the Ice Palace Big. Were you getting concerned about some of those kind of one-off checks that you had left in dungeons?
Kind of, but at the same time, like, when I did Thieves without the small key and when I did Ice without the big key, I was just kind of telling myself, okay, if these spots have something I lose, whatever, I'll live with that.
Right.
Like, normally I like to be more careful about those kinds of things, but against an opponent like Zelga, I figure I can't really afford to. So, I figured I'd be a little bit more aggressive about orphaning stuff like that.
It really paid off this seed, because the checks we saw from Zelga's side that you skipped didn't really pay out that much, so definitely a good way to handle this seed, Goomba.
I'm a little annoyed, though, that I found the pod big key, like, right before I went to pod. Kind of wish I just hadn't found that, so I could have not done Helmasaur King. But at the same time, if I hadn't done Helmasaur King, it might have taken me a bit longer to get to the Skullwoods big chest, since I wouldn't have had the option of checking the pedestal as well, so who knows.
Yeah, it was interesting, and we were trying to, like you said, with both, the ped knowledge there, and also the that GT big key. We're trying to figure out whether or not that had really factored into your routing there, that led you, because we were really pulling for you to get right back up there to Skull Woods there after seeing the second castle tower key there on Zelga's side. So
yeah, the concern for me was, if Zelga clears out the rest of pod without the big key, like this 12 out of 14, and skips the big chest and Helmasaur King, then if I go there with the big key, kill Helmasaur King, and then climb GT, that 2.5 minute time sync turns into a 7-minute time sync. So
right, and that's pretty much exactly what happened. Zelga didn't find pod until I think he had 4 small keys, and just chose to clear everything that wasn't big key locked when he found it. So
right.
That was pretty much exactly as you described it there.
Yeah. I think I would have been more eager to climb GT if I wasn't worried about the possibility of Zelga just not finding the big key at all.
Right.
It's very much what happened. I didn't find that or the GT big. I didn't even have those as options.
Yeah. The pod big key was shovel spot, and the GT big key was an Helmasaur King.
Yeah. So I guess we'll kind of wrap it up. Do either of you guys have any final thoughts here? Goomba, as you move to 4-0 and get to face yet another tough opponent again next week. Zelga, things won't get too much easier for you at 3-1, but still very much alive here for the bracket stages.
Nothing really for me. Just GG's. I feel like this is kind of the expected result here. So I certainly have no shame in losing to someone like Goomba. And I kind of deserve a loss after last year's Crosskeys, so all's well.
I'm just glad to get this matchup out of the way early. I knew it was going to happen one day in this tournament. It was kind of inevitable, and I'm just glad to get it out of the way in an early round. And, win or lose, I'm just glad I don't have to play Zelga again. So
until the racket stage, potentially.
Well, probably.
But yeah, GG's to both of you. Thank you for a great race, and thank you for letting us restream this tonight. We also, of course, want to give a big shout out to our restreamer, VXR441, as well as both of our 2 trackers who did an excellent job tonight, Becky Scott Fairley and Sammy Moss. We are very grateful to both of you for stepping up tonight and contributing that to help us put on this great show.
Yeah. Austin said, well, couldn't said it better myself.
Alright, I'm looking over the schedule. I have a couple Zelda 2 Randomizer standard tournament matches tonight, one at 10 p.m. Eastern, one at 10:30 p.m. Eastern. We'll definitely do at least one of those. But volunteer availability will depend on whether we get the other one. We also have another Crosskeys tournament match between Wall Kicks and Fear Agent. That'll be at 11 p.m. Eastern. Tentatively scheduled for ZSR3, but if one of those Z2R races doesn't get volunteers, then it'll move to ZSR2. That's all we got tonight. I don't think we have any Crosskeys on the calendar for tomorrow as of now. We do have a couple Link's Awakening DX any % tournament races, one at noon Eastern, the other at 10 p.m. Eastern. A couple Wind Waker Randomizer tournament matches. Top 24 match at 2 p.m. Eastern, and then Challenge Cup matches at 5 p.m. Eastern, and if needed, 1 a.m. Eastern tomorrow night. Well, Saturday morning, technically. And then a couple more Z2R races at 9 p.m. and 10 p.m. Eastern. Of course, that will depend on if we get volunteers. So, thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you next time.